Have you ever wondered how you could be a better presenter, speaker, or facilitator? Hello everyone, I'm Miggy, and today I'll be showing you how to present with Pizzazz. After this video, I'm hoping that you will all learn the basics of presentation, attract more people to listen to you, and speak more fluently. For everyone's guidance, we will be having this agenda. First, we'll start off with your presentation essentials. What are the basics? Then, it's going to be followed by your non-verbals. And finally, we will be summarizing this presentation through our verbals. By taking note all these agenda, everyone will see, or people like you can be able to follow what this presentation is all about. Here's my message for you. If you'd like to increase your impact, authority, or influence your listeners, here's what you need to do. Master the basics, improve your attractiveness, and upgrade your fluency. Every skill entails a certain level of mastery or proficiency to perform at a higher level. And the secret to this is by mastering the basics. And just the same, even for our presentations, this requires knowing how to master certain rudiments or fundamentals. Now, it's time for me to show you what these are. Stephen Covey said, "Begin with the end in mind." In your presentations, this means having a purpose. Purposes can come in the following types. You could either persuade, inform, inspire, or entertain. It's best for you to choose the ideal ones for your audience. For example, as a corporate trainer, my main function or goal is to inform people like you. And along with the purpose, it pays to have clear objectives which serve as a takeaway for your audience. For example, after this session, I want my listeners or viewers to learn or master the basics of presentations, to improve their attractiveness, and definitely to upgrade their fluency. Again, by having a purpose or the why, the manner of doing so or the how becomes a lot more efficient, easier, and more effective for you to accomplish. In your presentation, it pays to practice timeliness, punctuality, and promptness. By having these factors, you will be able to start and end on time. However, there may be cases when you would start late or perhaps even end earlier or later than expected. For as long as your listeners or viewers get the expected value from your presentation, then you're fine. However, if you want to be a great presenter, it really pays if you would practice sticking to your allotted time. Therefore, to also help you out, it pays to also have a clear agenda, which I'll be discussing in the next set of slides. Ladies and gentlemen, what's the best way to present your topic or subject to your audience? My dear friends, there are so many speech or presentational patterns that you can choose from. The most common one being your IBC method. Your intro, body, and conclusion. Starting with the intro, we put here our central idea or message. In other words, we tell them what we're going to tell them. Afterwards, we have your body. In other words, Tell them it's composed of your main ideas and the supporting details. And everything great must come to an end. That's why we have your conclusion. With a great conclusion, we are telling the audience what we told them in the first place. That's why we need to state, or rather restate, the central idea or message of our presentation. By doing all of these things, my dear friends, we will be able to give our audience a great overview plus the details of our presentation. For the audience to be guided accordingly, we must have an agenda. By having an agenda, people will see what you will be talking about within your subject or topic. Think about it like this. It's like having a targeted list of discussions or talking points for your subject. For instance, presenting with Pizzazz covers 3 topics. We have presentation essentials, non-verbals, and verbals. By taking note these factors or subtopics, it's a lot easier for the audience to have a great reference for your presentation. And then finally, it's also good to have Q&A with your audience. The part where you ask questions, or rather handle questions from your audience. You can still ask questions from the audience if they miss something that they weren't able to understand in the first place. If they have questions about how to present better, how do you set an agenda, how do you make sure your talking points are clear, these questions can be answered at the end of your presentation or topic. But also, be prepared if your audience would ask you a question during your presentation. And either way, by being able to solicit questions from the audience plus answer them very, very well, you will be able to establish connection, authority, and credibility with your listeners. Once you've mastered or nailed down the basics of a presentation, it's now time to fine-tune your nonverbals, the most significant aspect of communication. What are these nonverbals? Let's find out in the next slide. This is one of the best ways to make a great impression. Our appearance, style, and grooming. How does it feel if you look great, stylish, or even attractive to your audience physically? Won't that make you feel good? Won't that make you feel great when you're giving your talk? So this added feeling of self-confidence and esteem must motivate us to also give a great presentation. Now I know this is just a starting point because we must also deliver great content. But definitely, people judge us based on how we look the first time we enter into a room full of people. And right now, as presenters, speakers, or even facilitators, it's really great for us to look our best because this not only conveys our attractiveness in front of them, but also professionalism, courtesy, and respect to our listeners. Our posture reveals our confidence to our audience. This will help us command our audience's attention and respect. We're very fortunate, my dear ladies and gentlemen, that we are in an online setup. It's a lot easier to do this. And all you have to do here would be to have a straight back, chest out, and a few hand gestures to complement how you look, how you'll feel, and how you'll act in front of your listeners. A bonus tip for everyone to remember is that with great posture, men will look more masculine, women will look more feminine, and attractive for all sexes, for men and women alike. Do you see that the best speakers or presenters use very expansive body language with deliberate Gestures, done correctly, you will draw attention from your audience so you can lead them to your message. Now, my dear ladies and gentlemen, combined with expressive facial expression, it's a lot easier for you to show a connection from your message to your actions. Most say that the eyes, these beautiful eyes, are the windows to one's soul. Done appropriately, our eyes can cast a spell to our listeners, build meaningful connections, and definitely break the ice. Compared to a live audience, it's a lot easier to strike eye contact with your audience. The secret there is to make sure that you look straight into your camera and sustain that kind of connection with your audience. That's simple, isn't it? As compared to a live audience where you would fear people's reaction to you when you would look into their eyes. In a virtual setup, cameras or webcams don't bite. Here's a picturesque illustration for body language. Compare these two men. To your left, this guy displays droopy shoulders, a hunched back, and a sad facial expression. On the other hand, the man on the right has a straight torso, flat shoulders, and a happy facial expression. Now, which do you think is worthier of emulation? The man on the left or the one on the right? Obviously, we will go with the man on our right. Regardless if it's physical or a virtual setup, it really helps if we would display great posture. Finally, it's time for us to learn how to upgrade our fluency through our verbals. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to show you how. Alexander Pope said that sound must echo its sense. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to present successfully, it's high time that we maximize our voices through our VIPs. We have volume, inflection, and pacing. With the proper amount of volume, we will make ourselves heard as we get our messages across. With proper inflection, it will be easy for us to highlight or stress a word and revealing the emotions that we would like to express. And lastly, our pacing. With great pacing, it's easy for us to display cadence and rhythm for the statements or sentences that we utter. My friends, with VIP, you will be able to manifest or even exemplify a rare kind of eloquence that only the best speakers and presenters have. Have you ever wondered what prevents you from being fluent? Verbal fillers. Every time you utter an or anything related, these distract your listeners, preventing them from absorbing your message. My dear friends, it's high time that to eliminate these disfluencies, we must expand our vocabulary, master our content, and of course, pausing. Silence is golden and speaks volumes. In summary, to present with pizzazz, master the basics, make yourself more attractive, and speak eloquently. By mastering these tips or hacks, you will be able to be on the runway in becoming the next top presenters to behold. There you have it! Keep learning, keep growing, keep shining. I look forward when you would all present with Pizzazz. As I've always shared to my listeners, learning and development isn't only a job, but also a lifestyle. See you!